You see this? And this? And this?
Yes, I'm about to rant.
This episode is Bill approved. He wants to remind you that YouTube's algorithm only shares our content with other people who love cycling if you hit like and subscribe. So help us out.
And normally I'm quite a positive guy. But stupid things made more complicated than they need to be by people's laziness and sloth annoy the crap out of me. So we're going to talk about one of those tonight, because it's also something that has to deal with safety and health. So recently there was an article online locally about how our local power provider needed to provide electric reliability to the community. And so they were going to shut down the rail-to-trail that I and my colleagues use to commute to work every day. At the time, they said it was only going to be 1 week, 18 to 22 October, with perhaps up to the next week sometime in there to finish things up.
Oh, but it gets better.
This is the 5th of November. Guess what, folks? They're still doing it. And, based on what you see here, they're going to be doing it till 31 December. Originally, they blocked off the trail entirely and said, you can't ride on this 3.6 mile stretch, so we're going to put you on the roads, but they were really cool about it. They put out what we call sharrows, those little bicycle arrow things on the road, and that was fantastic. But that was only a week. Then, some dumb son of a bitch pulled up the sharrows.
What the hell?
Now let me get this straight. You just improved road safety for drivers and riders on a 3.6 mile stretch of Virginia road. And then someone decided on purpose to reduce that safety back by pulling up the sharrows.
That's right. Oh, that ain't right.
And on top of that, you're not even done with the work. So if you already laid them down and improved safety, what kind of complete asshat makes the purposeful decision to go back and take them up again?
Now they're here. Now they're not. Now they're here. Now they're not. I mean, seriously, what kind of sick fuck does that? Now I know what you're thinking. Rob, this is a cycling channel. Why are you ranting about infrastructure?
Rooney, calm down.
Because there's no accountability. That's why. If I were to roll up onto Claiborne Parkway or Loudoun County Parkway around here, or some major commuting artery where you live, put up a bunch of signs and tell you, hey, for the next week, you're just going to have to find another way to work, and, it won't be as safe as the one you normally take. Or, oh, no, you can come back on the road now, but we're going to randomly close it in 3 or 4 sections for 15 minutes at a time for the next 2 months till the end of the year. What do you think people would do in cars? There'd be a damned riot. That's what would happen. But because it's just cyclists, no one cares. And that's part of the problem. They only care when it's a gas-guzzling urban assault vehicle. And that ain't right. But Rob, they had to take the last 3 weeks because, we had some high winds. You're proving my point. And that is that the infrastructure should be buried underground, where it belongs. Because that's where it's safe from ice and wind and tornadoes and terrorism. Not putting guys 100 feet in the air and risking them every time you need to fix something and blocking roads and making people do dangerous things. Critical infrastructure is called that for a reason. We need it. We rely on it. Imagine a world where you didn't have to worry about high winds, terrorism, ice, snow, rust, airplanes, anything. And the electricity just kept flowing, as did the commuters, whether they were on a bicycle or in a car. But until we make the proper changes to make things better, we're going to have to live with things like outages and spoiled food and cold and the danger of not having that thing that's so important to us. And it's unnecessary. It's based on laziness. The data centers and the electricity should be underground. So really, I'm ranting at you, and not you, the royal you, us. This will only change when we, the people, want it to change. What if you committed to riding your bike to work or running errands just 2 times a week? That's it. Twice. As I've said before in other podcasts, the vast majority of our commute, whether it's to work or to run errands, is less than 10 miles. It's very small. You can do it on a bike. Now, I'm not asking for miracles. I'm asking for a ripple that turns into a wave. That's really what it is. 1 or 2 days a week becomes 2 to 3 days a week, and suddenly a lot more of us are riding instead of driving. But what if you're a pro car guy or know someone who is? Simple. Just be Machiavelli about it. Here are ways it can benefit you as a car driver. First, accident and safety statistics all have demonstrated over time that having dedicated bike lanes means less accidents. Also means people are less fearful in cars of going by cyclists on the road and what may happen. And there are more cyclists who will ride when there's dedicated infrastructure. That brings me to number 2. You know what that means for you car people? Less cars on the road, you get to go to work faster. Because we're on a bicycle, we're out of your way. You get to go to work faster. Thirdly, who wants to scrape blood and guts off their car? Nobody wants that. There's dented body panels, there's smashed windows, the blood and the skin stain the vehicle. Not to mention, it doesn't feel very good for us. A shared infrastructure that allows both human and combustion-based transport benefits everyone, not just cyclists or runners. Bike lanes, rotaries instead of intersections, buried infrastructure, because no one wants to spend more time in traffic and no one wants to spend more time at stoplights, whether you're in this or this. So, demand more accountability of your elected government. Vote for people and services that will provide a cohesive infrastructure for people, whether they're in cars or bikes. You don't have to be a dedicated cyclist to benefit from it.
Consider supporting the channel by becoming a Patreon so we can share more bike love worldwide. If you do, you'll be automatically entered in periodic raffles of bicycles from my collection.
All right, that's it. I'm done. For now.
And don't forget to pick up your swag from this episode or any of our episodes at the Maverick Store.
So come on, let's ride.